so
What
lucky.
does Lishe mean?
Lishe is Swahili for nutrition.
Okay.
So because the website is very African, we try to definitely go with the name that symbolizes that.
Of course. And Swahili being the most spoken language in the
There you
continent makes perfect sense. Cool.
Now, Siba, thank you so much for joining us on Lishe. And our focus on Lishe is obviously nutrition, fitness, and the lifestyle thereof.
Yes.
Now, to get us started off, we heard you talking on your demonstration about making sure your kids don't overload on sugar. What is your advice when it comes to parents who have a hard time fighting with those systems, like when a kid goes to nursery school, comes back home, learns different habits?
Yes.
What is your advice to moms out there?
The advice to moms is that they must have control at home.
Yeah.
As much control as they can at home will then help their kids develop a palate that they will adapt to the world once they're part of the world. For instance, there are some manufacturers who are really trying hard to cater to children in terms of lower or less sugar or no sugar options. I was pleasantly surprised when I walked through the aisles the other day to see a juice, you know those cartoon juices,
Yes.
but it's water, it's already diluted.
Oh, wow.
So you buy it already diluted, so that when I'm making you know those party packs,
Yes.
I don't have to dilute it and buy
Exactly.
bottles and
Yes.
so on, because I never give my children juice as is, because
Yes.
it's loaded with sugar.
Sugar, yes.
I always dilute it. If it's juice, they know it's diluted, and that's the juice they know. So diluting juice
Yes,
is
yes,
that.
yes.
So there are manufacturers who are trying really hard
Wow.
to give moms better options.
Yes.
So they should be on a lookout for that.
Definitely.
But I would say you need control at home as much as you can, and if you can teach them while they're young to have less of the sweet tooth, then it's the half the battle
Exactly.
won. But it's not easy. I'm a mom.
Yes.
I mean, with 2 years with my son not eating sugar, ate it once and didn't wanna. It went on a sugar craze.
Addict.
And then I had to introduce ways of making sure that he doesn't binge on it when
Yes.
he has it. So I'll give it, but instead of milk chocolate, I'll then give dark chocolate. So then I train him to have a tongue that then appreciates a bitter
Yes.
sweet, so that it's not the sweet, you know.
Completely.
So, but I give it, but in moderation,
Yes.
so that he doesn't binge on it. Because I found, without me giving it for a long time, once he had it, and then it binge. I mean, it works differently from different parents.
Exactly.
Some parents have had it easy because their kids, managed to be off sugar completely, which is great.
Yes.
But there's some kids where if they've got that experience, then it's almost game over. So you almost have to win them back to no sugar again. And it starts by decreasing the amount. So you still give them, for instance, a snack. If it's a birthday, you still give them a snack, but you then make sure that everything else, for instance, you go popcorns.
Yes.
You lessen the marshmallows. You go grapes. Make it into nice,
Yes.
Sticks and so on. Blueberries into sticks and so on.
Yes.
So that it's less of the sugar offering.
Ah.
So there are ways to do it.
The
but
sugar fight.
it is. There are ways to fight it, but it also means that you need to also play a part as a parent.
Exactly, and you don't want to keep them away completely from it, but you also don't want to completely not give them that treat.
That's what I say.
Yes.
There are parents who are completely opposed to it,
Yes.
but I say that if they are going to go to a party, they must know that they need to eat it in moderation.
Exactly.
So train them moderation, so that if they have it, they don't binge on it. Because often, if they don't have it for a long time, then they just binge.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, Siba, you're currently you're on season 3 of Siba's Table.
Filming season 4.
Exciting. Now, what was the process like in sort of setting up for season 3? And what do you think was the favorite parts?
Season 3, one of my favorite parts is always filming with the kids. I think it brings such a beautiful sentimental value to the show, and many parents relate to the family aspect of it. But with season 3, I wanted to make sure that I was a little bit more experimental, and I was introducing new ingredients to specifically the African market, who would never naturally just use. For instance, I use quinoa, which we know in the health industry which we've known for years.
Yes.
Quinoa has been around in South Africa for about 6 years, if not even plus.
Wow.
So people who are on the health track know about it. But everyday people don't even know what quinoa is, that it's a better starch, high in protein,
yes,
and less in carbs.
Yes.
Comes from South America and all those nitty-gritties. But it is expensive. So I do give people options of how they can use it in their salads, mixing it with certain grains to lessen it. For instance, I mix my quinoa sometimes with wild brown rice when I make salad, because the wild brown rice is not as expensive, and I can extend it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, Siba, what can people look forward to in terms of season 4?
Okay. In terms of season 4, they can look forward to having an interaction, because it's called Make It Siba Lishe.
Yes.
So people have given me some of their recipes and I've made them easy. They can look forward to tips, to hacks, tricks, shortcuts, and all those things.
Fantastic.
I want to make food easy and simple, accessible. Everyone must know how to cook, at least a basic. You must know how to poach an egg, fry an egg, and boil an egg. And that's one of the things I want. That's my gift to the world, simplifying food. And also, I realized that there was a break in terms of family values, with a family sitting together and eating a meal together, because it's easy to get a takeaway on your way home because you don't have the time to cook. Truth be told, because we now, we industrious, we're working moms, and we work the same hours as our husbands, and sometimes even longer, depending on the type of job that you have. So we don't have the luxury of time that we had in the past, that our mothers had in the past. My mom was a teacher, but at least by 3 o'clock she was at home, or 4 o'clock later. So she had the time to cook for the family, to make sure by 7 or after 7 we eat as a family. But I don't have that luxury, because I'm in the office until 6. And then traffic time, of 5:30, 6 o'clock I leave the office, and then it's traffic time, and then we get home, and it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have this, I don't have that, now what do I make? So I want to make it easy for the home cook to pull a meal together using simple ingredients, some a little bit more experimental, but it must be easy and accessible.
So awesome. Now, Siba, what is your, essentially, when you think back, what is your food philosophy?
My food philosophy is that everything I make has health in mind.
Fantastic.
Not completely, because I do make, like for instance, cakes, pavlovas, and things like that. Meringues. But I do give an option of how people can lower the amount of sugar that is added, or lower the amount of cream. Maybe, like I said earlier, mixing the cream with yogurt, and all those things. But I'm known for my salads. Funny enough, I've got a range of salads. So when I create my recipe, predominantly I have health in mind, though I'll never shout it. Because often if you shout it too much, people will, it's like, oh, it's not for me, oh no, it's expensive, oh no, So I have health in mind when I create majority of my recipes, though we don't shout it. And then what I do is I think of accessibility, the ingredients, everybody must have them, must be able to get them at least. And then I think of affordability, can you afford it? And then I also think of can this person also use this ingredient after they've purchased it? So it must have another lifespan. So that it doesn't, you have use for it. If it's not, don't waste it. So I'm very conscious about food waste, and also people getting enough options for them to know what to do with a specific product after they've used it. For instance, on the show, when I started with pistachio nuts, which was a new thing when I started, I would use it in different recipes, because I want to show you can use it for this, you can use it for that, the versatility of it, so that people are not stuck. It's like if you buy a certain thing and then a year later it's still there because you haven't tried the recipe again. So which becomes waste. And I'm trying to cut down on that. So those are all the things I think about when I create my recipe.
I mean, earlier on you were talking about food prices going up and things like that. What are your thoughts about alternatives when you're cooking? I heard you talking about coconut milk, coconut oil, things like that. And why is it important, do you think, for us to have those substitutions?
it's important for us to have those substitutions because we are in hard times in South Africa financially. I spoke also about butter, that you can use margarine, and if you are going to use margarine, what type of margarine you're going to use. If you are going to use, if you don't, coconut oil is expensive, and not everybody can buy it.
Exactly.
So if you can't afford that, then what else can you use?
Yes.
If you don't have the money to get the beet juice, you can use orange juice.
Yes.
You know, I completely understand where we are, and I understand that my market is very diverse. I don't have a niche market. I have everyone.
Yes.
Literally, I've got almost like a costina. It's a costina of the market. It goes like this from the rich and literally from abantu abahlala emkhukhwini.
Exactly.
Because it's also on compact. So I have to be quite cautious of that. And also I've got the world market. I've got the entire world, which I also cook for. So I have to be mindful of price at some point. That's why it's nice for me to give alternative. For instance, I made a beautiful granola bar for the show.
Yes.
And obviously the seeds, the this and this and this that goes in can be expensive. Then I give people alternative of what they can use.
Yes.
And then I used a macadamia nut butter, but you can actually use, I said to people, you can also use ordinary peanut butter, but then you add some milk or water to it to dilute it, because you want, if a person can't afford or doesn't know where to buy the nut butter, the macadamia, they've got the alternative, which is peanut butter, which I have and my kids love.
Yes.
You know, on my cupboards.
Fantastic. Now, Siba, we've seen you working out, getting into running, and having fun and sort of living a healthy life. What is your advice about people who are always thinking like that, who are thinking, how do I make sure that exercising becomes part of my life? Because the important thing is making it a routine, but sometimes it's hard to even do that. How do you do that, especially with your schedule?
It's not easy. In December last year, towards the end, I took a break and I could run, and because it's summer also, you get a lot of people that run in Cape Town during the summer, and those who run consistently, and it was lovely. And I did it for myself because I felt I used to run before.
Yes.
And I used to exercise when I was a food editor at Drum and during my Cooking with Siba days. But then with the childbearing stages, I thought I'm not going to put pressure on myself with being overweight or picking up weight and all of that. But once I'm done with my baby making process, so it was a factory making process, and we gave ourselves time to make cake to kids. And then once I'm done, then I will start now to go back to my. I didn't want to stress myself in terms of looks and so on.
Yes.
But then also I understand the influence that I have. I probably am the most influential chef in the country.
Wow.
Because literally there is nobody who doesn't know Siba. Like I go to a Kokasi, Siba, you know, or Buti in the construction, like, shoo, Siba, and then I go to the burb, Siba.
That is fantastic.
So I understand that I've got a huge audience, and with that comes a little form of responsibility with the influence. So I'm already teaching people to what recipes they should do, and I'm also doing it so that people can be inspired to also exercise as well, because it's part of life. It's part of life, and I know I majored in nutrition. I majored in food science and nutrition. So I as much as I'm doing it for myself, I know that it will have effects to people, to my followers, and people who follow me. And then in a way, I am gathering all of us to live a healthy, holistic lifestyle.
So important.
And for me, it's not about immediate weight loss. I'm not into fads or diets, and so I won't take pills, I won't take this, I won't take like a specific diet, but I will eat right. I will cut down sugar, cut down the refined carbohydrates, you know, the bad things that we already know.
Exactly.
You know, you cut down on all those things, and then you exercise. At least, I mean, it's a minimum of at least 20 to 30 minutes a day.
There you go.
It's not a lot, you know. And if I can't run, I've created a mini gym at home. I've got a stepper.
Awesome.
I've got a stepper. You know, I do skipping rope.
Wow.
I do something for my arms, for toning down. So I'm building on it because it's not easy to run all the time, especially in winter.
It gets cold. Now, for moms out there who are actually thinking about that, I mean, it's so interesting that you mentioned how when people, after you give birth, a lot of people get into the pressures of going, oh, I need to lose this baby weight. How can moms going through exactly that? How do they lose the weight, but also how do they make it part of their lives, not only for being a mom and for themselves, but for the family?
Okay. The first thing I would say in terms of losing the weight is breastfeeding.
Ooh,
breastfeeding really helps you to lose weight.
Yes.
Because the milk is produced from fat.
Yes.
In fact, so the more the child drinks, because they need that fat in order for them to grow.
Yes.
So breastfeeding is the first way of losing weight. So moms, please breastfeed, and it's the best thing that you could ever give your child. My firstborn, I breastfed him for 2 years and 2 months.
Yes.
And it was at a point where it's like, it's Mama, Mom, I wanna, he called it. It's like, it's my time, And then I was like, okay, stop now. You've had your turn.
And that's important what you're saying, because that's a connecting moment as well.
It is. The studies that are there with children who've been breastfed, they've got better standing in terms of health, brain development, and many other things compared to kids that are not breastfed.
Exactly.
Did the same thing with my second and my third one, but I didn't get a chance to breastfeed them as long as 2 years.
Yes.
But at least I wanted to breastfeed them for at least 9 months.
Wow.
So it wasn't easy,
yes.
but at least one has to push to do that.
Exactly.
Those machines. Breast pump. Things we do for love. We love our children so consistently.
And we have to say, you're looking amazing, Siba.
Thank you.
So
I have
keep up the good work.
15, can you believe it?
Wow, high five it.
Yes. Growing, of course, growing more and more.
Now, Siba, finally, what can people look forward to? We know season 4 is coming up. What's next for Siba?
Next for Siba, it is, I really want to get into the health space.
Yes.
For various reasons, because I feel like with the lifestyle diseases that we have in South Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, I need to do something, because I know how much influence I have.
Fantastic.
We've got lifestyle diseases that are made by the things that we put in.
Exactly.
So as much as I've got the influence in terms of what we eat in general, I want to push people in a nice way without making you feel guilty.
Yes.
In a nice way, and in a way that is, how I make food accessible.
Yes.
In an accessible way, in an affordable way, how to give people options in terms of health.
Fantastic.
So I want to go into that. And I've got a huge following with children. Where it comes from, I could only be God, seriously.
You're an amazing mom.
Yeah.
That's what you are.
You think so?
Yes.
Thank you. I've got a huge following with kids, and I think it would be a natural progression for me to get into that space. And also, mothers always ask me, Siba, what do you make for lunch for your kids?
Exactly.
What goes into the lunchbox? What are the healthy options?
Yeah.
What can we do? What variations? Because mothers are dying to get new ideas
Exactly.
in order for their children to make sure that they eat good food, but they're not repetitive.
Exactly.
Not too repetitive. So I want to give that advice because I've got the knowledge, I've got the expertise.
Fantastic.
To do so.
Oh, we are definitely looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Now, Siba, for people wanting to find out more about where you're going, what you're doing, of course, you're great with social media, so we always see all of that.
Yes.
But where else can people go?
So social media is at Siba Mtongana.
Yes.
And then other than that, we are finalizing our website.
Fantastic.
So it will be a living cell and with far more information.
Great.
And specifically with my business, the Siba Co,
Yes.
we're really pushing that, and also what other things that we offer in the market. So people must just follow at Siba on Siba's Table and all the other adventures that we do on social media and the website.
Fantastic, Siba. Thank you so much for making time to talking to us.
You're
and of
welcome.
course, everybody will be able to catch the interview on www.lishe.co.za. Thank you so much.